I think that one of the biggest challenges we have in our country is that the institutions are broken. Because I think regardless of party affiliation, regardless of who is in position, if the institutions are functional, I think the institution controls the individual. If the institutions are intact, if the judiciary, the legislative body, the health system, the educational system, if they function, it will continue. Back in the days when the civil servants actually worked, actually there were some permanent secretaries that were more powerful than the president. They were more powerful than the governors because they knew the rules and regulations, they knew how things should work. So that's the first aspect to answer your question. So we have a lot of laws on the books. We have law and things that have been passed on the books. Is the implementation part that we have problems with. Ideally, the local governments are independently funded. They're supposed to get their own funding directly, and if that were to be the case, because if we can develop our country from the grassroots up, a lot of the challenges that we have in the country would have been sorted out. Because funding if you look at the healthcare system, the primary healthcare centers are funded by local government. The general hospital is a state responsibility. The federal teaching hospitals are federal responsibility. If everybody had the fund they needed to do the things that were needed at the primary healthcare center, a lot of people will not flock from primary healthcare center to general hospitals. If the state funded the general hospitals well, then the fund coming from the federal hospital will just go to the tertiary hospital and everything will be done. But I want to also address your question by throwing it back at the people. The people get the government they deserve. Look at what happened in Sri Lanka. I'm not calling for riot. I'm not calling for anybody to run to and protest. But we know, I know that this is how this thing should work. But then we accept it when it doesn't work. This time around, what doesn't work, let's fix it by putting the right peg in the right hole and putting people that actually know how legislative work should be done, how parliamentarians should function, and how we can hold people accountable. And lastly, I think we put too much weight on the government. I think any society, any community that functions well is the tripartite approach. The government does its own function, the private sector does its function, and NGOs. I don't think we have actually tapped into the private sector and the NGOs much in the States, or in Nigeria for that matter, because there's a lot of money out there that we can tap into to help our people to solve the problem. No government is able to fund everything 100%.